serious business.
Let's spend some time together. Let's take you back to 1975 when this was without doubt the greatest all night in the country. Back then, it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether it's common, whether it's rare, whether it's an LP track, or whether it's a 45 that had just been released. This, from a new release, became a monster. The Moments.
Oh!
Congratulations. Yeah, two records that I'm sure Book would have played. One of the biggest and the finest man that I ever met during being on the scene. I'd like to play my last record. I'm going to dedicate it to another guy who is no longer with us. Unfortunately, he died very young, but before he died, he influenced us so much. This is going out to Ned Waring, wherever you may be. I'm sure many of us will be seeing you soon. Absolutely wonderful to be back in the Winter Gardens for the last time, unfortunately. Hope to see you again soon. And we'll hand you over to who I consider the finest DJ in the country and has been for many, many years, Mr. Martin Barclay, Soul Sound.
Thank you. Which one am I there, John? Which one is it? Is it that one up or that one up? Is it that one? Is it that one? Now I tell you what I'm doing. Dance to the music, come on! Classic from Cleethorpes all the way, and that's one of the most soulful records played at any venue at any time. First played, I think it was with Pierre. Fantastic, come on, just get the floor. The devil on. Oh. Sam Williams. Fantastic. One more from me, by the way. Ian is coming next. I'll tell you who's coming up next in just 1 minute. I'm going to review Liverpool, and I reckon I really can't follow. It's dedicated to the folks who've been here for over 33 years at either the Winter Gardens or the Pier. I say to all of you, congratulations. What is it we're going to play?
Thanks, Sam. This is a really special night. I hope you're really enjoying it, because we certainly are. And the next hour is going to be 100% chock full of Cleethorpes classics. This is the Bell Lots. because it is Dance Dance Dance. This next one actually always reminds me of Cleethorpes because I bought it off this guy, Bob from Louth, a gig on a Thursday night, I don't know, 1973, £3. That's my kind of price. New Pride. that yet. In the van, you move me this way. Quite a lot of requests for this one. You're not going to hear it sort of anywhere else really. I don't think it's a revived oldie. But believe you me, it was a Cleethorpes monster. Here's the Love Man. Thank you, old man Crook of an absolute Cleethorpes monster right from the word go. I might a couple of records from me before I hand you over to Ginger Taylor and Eddie. The original lineup is quite something, you know, none of us are dead. You know, one of the original lineups should have been dead by now at least, but we're not. It's an absolute pleasure to do this gig. I never hear this record anymore these days, but if you're a Cleethorpes regular, you'll know it. The Temprees.
Day
don't worry. Stick all the way through to 2 because I can guarantee this night is really something else. One of the things that I loved about Cleethorpes, it really was, at the time, the #1 place in the world for contemporary black music. I'm being absolutely serious now. We were way ahead of the Americans. We played records at Cleethorpes before the American DJs ever discovered them. And it's all down to the incredible balance of DJs that we had. And one Mary Chapman, who elected to, select the right guys for the job. I think it's absolutely brilliant that some however many years it is, it's at least 32, 33 years, we're all back doing what we love, playing to the crowd that we love. Stick around after this record, Ginger and Eddie coming right up. This record typifies Cleethorpes.
Exactly, and if I feel like fucking it up, it's mine now, so I'll do it. There we go. Right, we're just going to take this moment to... Now, first of all, thanks a lot for coming, all of you. It really is great to see you all here. If one of these religious leaders says, can you define brother and sisterhood? I said, yeah, get yourself to Cleethorpes, we'll show you what it's all about. As Henri Maurice said, these guys are the cream of the crop. I couldn't ask for a better lineup, and we've got it today. As far as the promoters listen, I'll get myself out of the way and I'll listen to something in a minute, but thank you from the bottom of my heart, you've made it my day. I'm 5'0", I'm standing 10 miles high tonight. Thank you all. Hey, and I'll tell you something else. For all those who's ever knocked Cleethorpes, denied us, kept us out of the history books, Northern Soul, I'll say this. I can stand tall and say, hey, we're the talk of the North, alright? For all of you, there's people here who's over here tonight, and I welcome you. There's a lot of you whose heart lies in Cleethorpes, along with these people behind me, the creative source of Cleethorpes. And what I say to you is this. For the last 3 years, I've been compiling the Cleethorpes story. Mary Chapman has entrusted me to tell the real story about Cleethorpes. Also, the DJs have contributed. But one thing that came out of it was the authorities took Cleethorpes away from us with the pier and the winter guards. We never had a chance for a farewell. Well, I created it for you tonight. And what I want to say to you is this. We can't have a farewell without saying thank you to the original promoter, a two-person team. Please welcome Colin and Mary Chapman.
Well, it really is so that our own good friend, about a month ago, and said to her that although this is the end of this venue, it will never be the end of Northern Soul. Thanks to guys and girls like you, it will go on forever. Yeah, the thing is, I might have started it all off, but I would have been nowhere without all of you. And I want to say a really big thank you to the DJs and to all of you as well. And to my husband Colin, who's been a real brilliant guy and supported me for all the years.
I'd like to say a big thank you to
And all the candidates around it actually keep on slowly.
I've got to say, actually, Mary's really too shy for her own good. Mary appeared really from out of nowhere. Nobody, she just kind of appeared one time, and she was going to Samantha's to win the casino, and she had this vision in her head of actually doing something on the East Coast, specifically Cleethorpes, right? And Cleethorpes Pier was a radical venue. It was one of the most radical venues in the world, right? A pier that, you know, from 3 miles outside of town, you could hear the stomping, and it just accelerated your heartbeat and made you want to really get there in a hurry. It really was, I think, like all the DJs, everybody on the stage here remembers that. You know, it was absolutely magical. Once again, a big round of applause for Mary Chapman!
Many thanks to Frank for those absolutely fabulous words. And again, Mary, Colin, thanks very much. We were made very welcome to come down from Lancashire or Yorkshire, me and Ginger. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to play 2 records and I'm going to hand you over to my bud, Ginger Taylor. He's the #1 man. Please enjoy the next 2 records. Esther Phillips and What a Difference a Day Makes. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
What Gary Chapman met you at Wynn Casino after Russ Winstanley said, you know, not so much of the modern stuff as he classed it.
Right.
And she said, we've got this new venue at Cleethorpes where you can play what you want.
Absolutely, right. I'd met Mary a few times. I think I met her at Samantha's. Her and Colin were like, seemed a bit oddball really, because they were elder than most of the people, and it's like, who are these guys? What are they doing? It's like, you know, they're at least 20 years older than us, right? But she was an absolute Northern Soul devotee, and within probably a couple of months of me meeting her, I think I always used to be friendly with her and talk to her at the various places where I saw her, because I found it interesting. It's like, what was Mary doing, coming to these things? You know, it's like, you know, it was a little bit of a question mark, right, with her. And then on the way back from Wigan one Sunday morning, I was in Woolly Edge Services, just outside Manchester, and Mary and Colin came in, and then they told me about this, you know, this venue that they got. And, you know, they were actually very, very committed to allowing the DJs to do really what the DJs wanted to do without any restrictions, right? That was one of the key things about Cleethorpes, right? It didn't come with any baggage. It allowed local guys to really be, you know, on the same stage, you know, as the bigger names who were going around. It was really a very, very well thought out balance of DJs. So there's a lot of new blood coming through. If anything, Cleethorpes didn't really want the traditional type of DJs. Cleethorpes was looking to establish. I'm just talking about when I met you guys. We used to see each other at you know, all-nighters, Mecca, Samantha's, etc. And there was one crucial time when you guys were at Woolly Edge Services at the same time I was, right? Yeah. And we ended up. I can visualise it right now. Right, there was a sort of thing between the tables, right? And because there's Mary and Colin, right? Let's go sit there. And that's when you
first. Were with John Vincent at the time.
Yeah. And like that's when you actually told me about Cleethorpes. And
no, you're wrong. I'll tell you what happened. I went through to Wigan and I was just setting Cleethorpes up.
Yeah.
And you were able to go on stage and do a short spot at Wigan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Russ Winstanley more or less said, yeah, okay.
And you pretty much had to play stompers.
Yeah. You were on for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was
life out of him.
You did. You fricked the wits out of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
You were on for 20 minutes.
For about £1. Yeah. And he always hated me for that.
And he more or less didn't. He wouldn't book you. I think he was frightened of what you were capable of doing. Well, I heard it.
Yeah.
And we were in the bar, you know, the Coke bar.
Yeah.
And we were both thumbing through records. And I said, hey, would you work for me instead?
Yeah.
And that's how it actually started. And the incident at Woolly Edge was swapping information about records. And John Vincent said, you can't play that, it's not soulful enough.
Yeah.
Why not the Carstairs? Can you remember that?
I can't remember.
That was really early in the morning, that was.
Yeah, too early in the morning, probably.
But I remember asking you to work for me right under Russ Winstanley's nose at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
and it was great, because, to be honest, if Russ is watching this, you know, I speak the truth. You know, I get on with him and all the rest of it. But really, he did kind of control Wigan, you know, with a rod of iron.
Yeah, well, he had to.
He had to, in a way, yeah. And good luck to him. It was a fantastic venue. You know, I used to love it and everything. But you know, it was within certain strictures. And the thing about Cleethorpes, as I hope I said earlier on, really, was that in many ways it kind of it freed up. I said this. I do a radio show every Sunday, and I did a bit of a Cleethorpes thing last week. What I really said was that Cleethorpes was the venue where you could pretty much go whichever direction you wanted, as long as it kind of, you know, satisfied the crowd, and I think that shows from the diversity of stuff that we used to play.
You and a couple of other DJs at the time were playing what I call hinge pin records, whereby you would play a certain record, like say Time Edwin Starr, which you could go either backwards in time or forwards, and you learned what the key records were to going either way. And you went whichever way the crowd wanted you to go, basically.
Because the funny thing is like the way Cleethorpes works out, you can play a record like You're Never Too Young to Fall in Love by the Modern Redcaps.
Yeah.
It's essentially really early 60s, almost like rock and rolling. Bob from Louth. I'm coming home in the morning, sway me £3. Thank you very much. I had to get that in, mate.
Frank, can I just ask you a question? Certainly Mary's said this before. It was about the cutting edge of Cleethorpes, how you was in front of what was happening in the States.
It's, once again, what I said on there, it's like now with the benefit of hindsight, we were actually Cleethorpes, more so than anywhere else in the country, ahead of even New York, because like New York DJs weren't playing Hocus Pocus or Hosanna or any of those, and all those guys, actually in New York that I know now, like Danny Krivit and you know all the kind of like main, you know, big DJs, they're actually now ploughing what we did, you know, all the way back then.
Are they?
And they were right in the epicenter of the whole thing in New York. And like Danny Krivit has actually said to me, what was it with you guys? You were just fucking leagues ahead. You know, and even things like, I was saying on the way up here, a record like Rosie Jones, Have Love Will Travel, has never been played in America. It was played at Cleethorpes, and it was huge. Do What You Feel, the rim shots.
Yeah.
You know, the one I just played. Perfect example. The Americans don't know it, and that's why I think, you know, now we have the benefit of hindsight. When you actually look at what was being played there, it was an absolutely groundbreaking, bold, you know, move at the time. And I really think that, you know, Cleethorpes Pier, I'll say it so I'm blue in the face, I actually posted a blog on my MySpace page, really about how it's really one of the greatest, you know, Cleethorpes Pier was one of the greatest venues of all time. It really was. You know, the atmosphere there was absolutely electric. It was disassociated with the real politics of it. The local guys, that's the other thing that was really good about Cleethorpes. It brought the local guys in as well. And it kind of balanced that whole discrepancy that you know, that was going on.
It stopped the rock, basically, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's like a breath of fresh air.
What was great about it also was there were a lot of young people coming in who were prepared to dance, where older guys would have balked at it.
Yes.
But because it worked, the older guys eventually joined in. Those who stayed with it. And it was very controversial and it was very difficult to achieve. But
you hear the records. You go back now and you actually go back to the actual, you know, playlist there, and it was really unbelievably diverse. Because I used to do the last hour, and like almost the way I used to plan it is it would allow me to play a Crown Heights affair or a Rim Shots and all the rest of it, and then, you know, I'd probably generally finish with Lorraine Chandler, you know, Four Perfections, Cool Off, you know, all those things that I had at the time. It's just, you know, it really was a gig, you know, made in heaven. I'm so glad that this has turned out, you know, the way it's turned out, because it's, you know, it really was fantastic.
If I ask you for your reflections on tonight then, Frank, how did it pan out for you? Your first time back, it's the first time you've met a lot of these people for
33 years, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, you're nearly a southerner, aren't you? What's the...
Nearly,
not quite, though.
I can't quite remove, you know, the northern within me. It really was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer, because you remember me well over a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, and we spent quite a long time on the phone, Sunday afternoons. I can remember, you know, reminiscing. That's how I know this guy. Yeah. And then I think eventually he dropped it on me. He said, what we want to do is, you know,
we want to do this gig. It's going to be in the Winter Gardens. You know, we want to reassemble the original lineup. I haven't seen Johnny Manchin since back then. And Johnny's always the guy that I blame for escalating the prices of records.
You're going to have to go.
Okay. All right, Mary.
Well, thank you very much.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I know I'm not meant to say this.
Not quite too old.
All right. Good to see you again, Frank. Excellent. Good. Down, man. All right, mate. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Hey,
Take care.
yeah.
I'll see
you.
you.
Going back to the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shall see you again.
You're going to stay up,
Excellent.
are you?
Super night. Thanks very much.
Are you going to stay up or are you crashing? Ah, you.
Hey, what?
Oh, no,
Hey,
no, the
what?
hillbillies
You
with
youngsters.
Lots to do. See you.
All right, mate. Yeah. This gig really couldn't have gone any better. Most of those guys I haven't seen since 1974. Okay, to try and replicate the kind of atmosphere that you got back then when we were all 30 years younger. Listening to those records for the first time. Nigh on impossible. There's a ton of revival gigs going on. This one was unbelievably exceptional, and it will go down in the annals of Northern Soul history without a shadow of a doubt. And every single DJ on that stage said the same thing. It was like almost, it was the most joyous reunion you could imagine. And I personally haven't played Northern Soul up north since I left Cleethorpes. So that's saying something, to reassemble the original lineup some 33 years later and get such an unbelievable atmosphere, it's an absolute credit. It's been a pleasure doing it. When's the next one?
Yeah.
Well, let's sort that out, Frank. We'll sort.
It's been great.
Yeah.
How did I end up here? Where did you get my number from?
I researched it. I chased everybody.
Yeah.
It was so hard. I was actually chasing the Simply Vinyl numbers.
Oh, really?
And also, they said no, he no longer works for us. I was looking around.
I think they might have rung me actually. They might have rung me and flagged me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some guy from Cleethorpes. This and the other.
And they wouldn't give me a number.
Really?
So it's been like a bit of a Cluedo case. We're looking into it.
Yeah.
Where does Frank hang out? Where can we get hold of him? And you went around some of the times in the office that you're working and they say, I said, where is he? Is he? Was it a mystery like? Oh, are you going to give his number? In the end, I did manage to get your number.
But you're relentless. You're relentless.
You're right, I am, mate.
Yeah. I can tell the type because, all right, you got me in conversation there, and I can tell generally over the phone, right, who's serious and who's messing about. And we had a lot of conversations about music. To my major regret, tonight, I never managed to play Bobby Womack or soul improvisation or any of those. There's so much we could have played. But that was a year ago. This gig's been 1 year in gestation, at least.
One of the funny things about this gig is putting it into planning. It's the actual logistics of putting something together like this.
Yeah.
What you've got to do, first of all, you've got to say, right, now bear in mind that I've been running events here upstairs because nobody comes to Cleethorpes on a monthly basis now, and I was running things monthly upstairs. Some people ring up, are we downstairs? I'll say, well, no, we're upstairs because it holds 200 upstairs and we get 100 people on a reg every month. We can't afford to get the top DJs in, it's local DJs. So what we're going to do, putting something together like this logistically, you're going to say, right, first of all, who's the busiest two people on this? Ginger and Soul Sam. Right, can we get them on the same night?
Yeah.
So I've got Ginger on the mobile. He's going to a Man United match. He's got his is it his grandson in there? In his Mancunian accent.
Yeah.
I'm just going out, however they talk down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I catch him and he's, I book a date. Right, Sam, we've got we've got this gig. Well, I can't make it for that one. I think, oh. So I ring Ginger back.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be doing this. And he's had a bad day, and so I get Ginger booked and I get Sam booked. That's it. I've got them both.
Once you got those two bolt marks.
That's it. Then I get in touch with these, the Winter Guard, and they say, right, okay, can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. 6 months down the line, I've got everybody on board. Sam rings me up. He sees an advert in Manifesto. Hey, this gig on so and so. He says it's. I thought it was a week later. Typical. And
that's meant to be a school teacher.
That's it. Yeah.
You know,
I suppose maybe that typifies the education of today. I don't know. But that's a logistics. Thank you, brother. Cheers, Percy. And that is a logistics. And even a year ago, Ginger was saying, "Well, it's a year ago," and then he thought about it. He said, "That's soon going to go," and it did. And it's the logistics of it. And not only that. The management here at the Winter Gardens was dealing with 2 other promoters. One in particular who didn't have so much success here, and because I know Cleethorpes, I'm a Cleethorpes born and bred. I know Cleethorpes, I know what it's all about, and it just sums it up tonight. These guys know I'm serious.
Right. I've got to say, I don't think you could have done it any more tastefully at all. Okay, because like the mere fact. The main key thing was reuniting the original bunch, and walking up here, meeting the Riggs, seeing Poe, Manchin. It's like, it's been 33 years, and it's like yesterday, really. And it's like that was really the original vibe of Cleethorpes. There was no DJ politics there. We all used to try and skag each other, and try and get see who was buying what and what records. But it was really about the most together DJ lineup that I think I've ever really witnessed. And you could see it tonight when you got everybody on the stage. People were just hugging each other. Ginger Taylor hugging me.
Yeah,
it's a long stretch.
That's what it's about. I wanted to bring everybody together as a Cleethorpes family, and that's what we are. And at the end of the day, that's what Northern Soul was. We had that love culture to it in the early days. But when you get into our age group, I was the younger generation, but still, you've got to look at where we are now, the age group we are. Did we trust people our age when we was younger? And we've got to look at them values. I think we've caught it tonight.
I think we've caught it. I'm incredibly happy. I'm incredibly happy. There's not any negative at all. It's like my memories of this gig will be fantastic, and that's exactly the way it should be.
And I think that goes. Everybody gives it a thumbs up. That's what it's about. And
the crowd reaction was incredible. You don't usually get that kind of passion, from the crowd. But that whole thing with bringing Mary on. Also, she's a little shy, and she is the nature of her. She doesn't always take credit for the things that she really should. But I think that was a really nice touch, and the fact that all the DJs were there and everything was, it was just a monster. It was a monster gig, one of the greatest gigs of all time. It really was.
To get this together, get something like this together, and like I say, I'm compiling the book. You've got somebody like me who's passionate, who's serious, and at times you have to be pushy. Of course, you've got to say, right, let's get our asses up on stage. You can't say, would you like to go? Let's do it. Let's get it on. It's got to happen. It's a pity Pope and Dave Appleyard that unfortunately had to go and they couldn't be on the final pictures. But hey, credit to them. They've been here. They've done the works, and they've never lost anything. They've still, they've done us proud today. The same as Frank and the rest of the lads, and the crowd's unbelievable. And if I've got anything to say about the old days. I couldn't have wished for anything better. This is Cleethorpes. It's a spirit of Cleethorpes.
You could not have planned it really any better. I mean, like if you're planning it in your head, this is the dream gig.
Yeah.
It really is. So it's very, very seldom that these things happen like this. But I mean, the whole vibe of the crowd and the beautiful atmosphere and their obvious passion for the music, just magical. See you in 33 years.
You certainly will, brother. Thanks a lot, Frank.
everybody is Willie Van. Yeah, dedicated to four of the finest DJs ever on this all personal friends of mine. Right, three more from me, one from the 60s that we were anthem here, and then two, one from the late 60s and one from the 70s. Here we go. This is the sounds of the Embers. Watch out there. DJs that you've seen tonight, so they'll be playing again for time to come. How's about this one? taking me back to the days of the theatre. I remember playing this song. There's been a lot of records played today. I can't remember hearing this one. This is a Matter Baby with a Bill Girl. One or two requests for this one. This play's been known talk of the North East Coast Connection. This is the East Coast Connection, Summer in the Box. James Wagner and Look Music and what about Gold Boys? So we'd like to hear this record, The Crow. think we're nearly finished. Well, yeah, that's great. Apologies for all the two requests I just haven't had time to do another couple of hours. Fantastic song of music. A fantastic venue. Nancy Lewis and Wayne in the water. But unfortunately we've got to finish on time. So once again, thank you ever so much everybody. What the song lives on, the DJs live on, and there's only one record I can play in the end. It's got to be Charles Mann. Good night, Winter Gardens.
Thank you.
Hey, brothers and sisters, Cleethorpes, give it up for Lincoln's finest, Chris Dalton. Unfortunately, rules are rules. We're allowed one more, and that's it, then we're out. This is your last one, Cleethorpes. Give it a big shot, all right? Hey, I'll remember this name for the rest of your life. Thank you very much. Good night.
Little
security guard. Once again, thanks ever so much. Thanks to all those people I know from Lincoln, Newark, Grantham, people from Sheffield, local, and of course not forgetting Boston, and everywhere else in the country, of course. Good night, God bless. Goodbye, winter bells. But we'll see you again somewhere, okay?
The battery's gone. The mic, they've all switched off.
Right out tomorrow, Brown's Cup, half 10. Gullers bastards. Fuck it. We're all getting fucking filled in, like, fucking that's it, no one heard it.
Failing that, it'll be on my list.
Did you get that final shot?
Sorry,
Did you get the final shot?
oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're not going to put it in your pocket and just forget it.
Small ones on the table.
Can I steal this, Andy?
Sorry, there's not a light fitting.
Take it. I need a flyer, innit?
Can I take the door?
Yeah, take it.
I'll tell him your name. No, but I'm sure.
I've been doing something at the school. Not crying. See, that's a drunkard, but I'm not crying.
God, thank you very much. Oh, cheers.
That's clever. I'll see.
When we see you. See you later.
In about 12 months' time. Oh, no. Oh, it's Beach Club.
June. We'll see you.
I'll be there.
Take your shorts.
See you.
I might even have a dance for you.
Got you.
Yes, it is. Come on, take it off my hands right now. It's got a spacious living room, just right for a bride and groom. But since I've lost the one I love.
It's all over, it's all over. Life I wanted to live, life I wanted to give. It's all over, it's all over. Life I wanted to live, life I wanted to give to you. Searching for the life ain't no easy chore. I thought I had it made when I opened the door to your heart, but I was mistaken. You locked the lock, and my life was taken from my soul. Oh, it's all over, it's all over. The time I wanted to share, the time I wanted to care, it's all over.